Today, as I announce my candidacy for Sheriff of Rapides Parish, I want to press to you how truly excited and humble I am by this opportunity. For me, this is about more than just our local sheriff's race. It represents so much about our American values. Those values that I swore to defend when I joined the military at 17. Those values that I graciously went off to war for during Desert Storm. And those same values that I carried with me to 3 other countries in an effort to teach others about the freedoms and liberties our founding fathers established for us. But every single time a politician stands before us and makes promises in an effort to gain money and power for themselves or their strongest supporters, they make it seem like it's okay for every other person to come after them and do the same thing over and over and over again. Until we, the people, feel like, well, that's just the way of things. Well, it's absolutely not. It's not what I fought for, and it's not what every other person who has stood the line in defense of this country's values has fought for. And I, for one, am sick and tired of it. So today I come before you as one of we the people. And I call on you, the other patriots of Central Louisiana, to stand with me in defense of the values that we hold so precious to us. But this race is about our safety and security of Rapides Parish. So you should know I began my career in law enforcement in my hometown of Cheneyville in 1988, thanks to the City Council and the Chief of Police. There I was mentored by some exceptional men from the State Police and the Sheriff's Office who took an interest in my career. I would go into work part-time for the LeCount Police Department, where I'd get my first foot pursuit, and I worked for Woodworth Police Department, where I'd apprehend my first armed robbery suspect coming out of Forest Hill, and also capture a man out of Texas who had earlier stolen a car and committed a violent home invasion. Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office would open some doors for me, because after a short stint in the Patrol Division, I was accepted into the Narcotics Division, where I would be trained by some of the best investigators in the state. That squad I worked with missed out on a lot of social functions. But together with DEA and FBI, we took down narcotics distributors like those you read about in books or you see in the movies. I've worked undercover buying drugs from gang affiliates, been the lead investigator on major narcotics cases, and I've gained an extensive amount of experience in the interdiction, working at the train station and the international airport. It was this experience that would immediately propel me into anti-terrorism mode shortly after 2 planes crashed into the World Trade Center. My skills in interdiction became a tool in the war on terror. And for months, we worked with federal agents to vet every potential threat that came through the New Orleans International Airport. Later, I'd be assigned to the Greater New Orleans Organized Crime Task Force, which was headed by the FBI, where I worked briefly until I found out about another opportunity to serve my nation in the peacekeeping missions and the battlefields overseas. In the 6.5 years I worked abroad, I took the skills I learned from my experiences as an American police officer, as well as the American values instilled in me by a small town community in Central Louisiana. And I not only helped to train officers in Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, but I was immersed in investigations involving war crimes, organized crime, and terrorism. I feel so honored to have had the chance to work with police officers and soldiers from around this nation and from around the world, as we implemented specialized investigations units, advised police chiefs, and worked murder investigations, kidnappings, and bombings. And we did this under some of the most complex and dangerous circumstances you could imagine. I am so humbled to have lived this life. I thank God for all the opportunities that He has put in my path, to include that of being born American, where we have amassed the freedoms and liberties that others only dream of. And it's because of this life that I've lived, and the respect that I have for the men and women that have died for me, that I am before you today asking that you consider me a candidate for Rapides Parish Sheriff. May God bless America, a place where a nobody like me can run for a public office. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this introduction.